I think somewhere in my mind that just sort of stayed with me was this idea that luxury it's not something that you're meant to live with, but that's silly. Of course you're supposed to live with it. Of course you should have materials that are meant to be used and enjoyed, and something that makes you feel like you're allowed to lean back on the sofa. I think that's where this, I don't know who started that. Who started that idea? I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy, don't you? We've been working in the luxury market for many years, and one of the things that we hear so often is that people would really like something that is luxurious. They want something that feels sophisticated and chic, and yet a lot of times they feel like they can't have that. If they have kids, if they have pets, if they themselves are worried that they'll spill things on their furnishings, how will they maintain? There's a lot of reasons why I think that oftentimes luxurious homes sometimes have a bad reputation for maybe not being cozy or approachable. But the truth of the matter is that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have a luxurious home that is approachable, it's family friendly, it's the kind of space that feels soft and cozy, it's a place that you want to curl up, and you can have all those things in the same space while also maintaining that chic environment that we can't help it. We can't help but just want to have that. So I've picked up a lot of these because I myself have 3 kids. I struggle with this as well. Sometimes I feel like, wow, I don't want it to feel too cold. I don't want it to feel like people feel like they can't sit down, that they have to sit up straight when they come to visit. I want people to feel comfortable, myself included, my family included. And these are just some tips and tricks that I've picked up as I've worked in the luxury market myself, and I hope that you'll find them really, really helpful. I hope that they will inspire you on your own journey in creating your own home. And yeah, so let me just jump right in. I think one of the best ways to create a cozy environment, I know all of you that are my regulars, you're gonna be like, wait, let me guess, a blanket. I know, okay, so if you are a regular subscriber, you know that I pretty much put a blanket everywhere. I'm always cold. I like to have blankets anyways. I put them everywhere. From living overseas, particularly in Europe, they just always have a blanket at the cafes. They always have them in their homes. It's something that I just really liked. It's something that my husband and I really responded to. And so it's something that we always include in all of our spaces. But when you're creating a luxurious home, the type of blanket that you use is really important. You don't want to have a blanket that looks maybe too messy, or the materials don't feel high-end. And of course, when we're working for our clients, a lot of times they do have the budget to be able to splurge on beautiful materials like cashmere, and we have things with silk threaded throughout, and you can really go for broke and have the Hermes blanket. I mean, there are so many beautiful blankets out there. If you have the budget to be able to create that luxe look with a luxurious blanket, but don't feel confined. It really isn't always about the material. You do need to pay attention to the materials. It is about the materials, and in essence, it needs to feel luxurious and high-end. We've even shown you in the past some of our favorite things that we have found on places like Amazon and H&M if you are working on a budget. So don't be deterred, but really pay attention. You're looking for something that has a feel like cashmere. I think sometimes, even like this one, it's a thinner blanket that can lay over your sofa, and you can have a little bit of fringe on it. It can lay over your arm as well. But I think that blankets like that, fur blankets, those just tend to read more luxurious. And I love my fur blankets because they're always backed with a really soft material. I buy them at Pottery Barn. I just really like their blankets. But Restoration Hardware has great ones, and there's plenty of options out there just depending on what budget you have to be able to get that look. I think that a blanket is the perfect way to create a cozy environment in your space, but also one that really invites you to feel as though you're being pampered in the space, because ultimately that's what luxury is, at least to me, is this idea that you've pampered yourself with really beautiful things. So I hope that one will help. So my second tip is to avoid LED lighting. Now, I'm gonna put a disclaimer on this because I don't think that you have to avoid LED lighting, period. But when you look at photos online, a lot of times when they're luxury homes, they're being photographed with the lights on. And that's probably why you feel like those spaces feel less approachable. There is something so beautiful and so wonderful about a home that's being lit by natural light. Usually when we photograph our own home, our clients, even when we're doing real estate photos, we still prefer that the lights be turned off. That's how most magazines will photograph a home because it really gives the truest color. And a lot of times when you see those with the LED lights, they can be a lot of fun. I think that LED lights have a place in the home. You don't have to completely avoid them. Think about a hotel. A lot of times they do have those LED lights used and it can be very luxurious feeling. But I feel like a lot of times they're just overused. And I've noticed as I've looked at other people's photos that I'm trying to figure out, it's like, why don't I love this? I feel like I should love this. It's so beautiful. It's so well put together. I love the millwork. I love everything on the shelves. What isn't? And I'm like, oh, it's the lighting. It's the LED lighting. It just makes everything feel more artificial. It takes away that natural, approachable feel that I really like. And I think that that's why a lot of times you guys might feel like luxurious homes don't feel cozy and they don't feel approachable. I think that anytime you can use natural light, it's gonna always feel more luxurious. I think also that low light lamps, candles, things like that have a lower light and they're less intrusive into the actual space will just give a little bit more of a cozy, approachable vibe. So if you wanna use LED lighting, I don't think that you have to completely and absolutely avoid it, but maybe think about avoiding overuse of LED lighting. I think that would probably be a better tip, don't you? You guys let me know down in the comments whether you agree or disagree. Tell me if you love the LED lights and you would have them everywhere, or if you agree that you really like the natural look and you think that that definitely gives the kind of approachable, cozy, luxurious look that you find yourself craving as well. Tip number 3 is to balance your materials. What I have found is when I look at some homes that are luxurious, a lot of times it's just too much of like everything. Like it's too much brass, it's too much marble, it's too much like marble floors and marble on the countertops, and then it's really brassy lights and lots of brass all over everything. And I think sometimes that's where the approachability can be lost, is that it doesn't feel like anything is touchable. And I think that you can balance your marble countertops with maybe a brass that's a little bit more burnished, that's a little bit more antiqued. And when you start balancing your materials with something that feels a little bit more warm and approachable, it can give you the most amazing, beautiful, luxurious feel that's very approachable. It feels very usable and I think it's very cozy. You guys can let me know what you guys think as well. But I think as well, like in the bedroom, if you have everything glossy, every piece of furniture is high gloss, I think that it just feels almost like it's not the kind of space that you feel like you can really just kind of get cozy in and really relax in. As I'm designing my own bedroom, I've got a higher lacquered 4-poster bed. If you watched our videos, you've maybe even seen when we just got it just a few weeks ago. And I have been waiting for all my samples to finally come in to order the sofa that I want to put into the space. I want to have a really beautiful, elegant, curved sofa in there, but I'm balancing the high gloss lacquer of the bed with a material that's going to be sitting next to it that's going to feel more approachable. So it will either be a creamy linen or it will be a more washed out velvet. It's something that just feels like the balance of materials. They sit well together, but it's not too much in your face, just everything kind of screaming at you. I think that's where luxury is kind of it becomes unapproachable. It's when it's like, I really don't feel like I can sit down on anything in this space. So think about balancing your materials. Think about balancing things that are warm and maybe something that's gonna give you that drama, like that statement marble. You can also add organic accessories to a space. Those materials will also really balance out something that does feel more luxurious, maybe that's a little bit higher gloss, and you can really play with your materials overall in your space to give yourself a space that definitely feels approachable while still remaining luxurious. I absolutely love to upholster in soft fabrics. I think that this is really, really important. What I find is that a lot of times when we're working with our clients, they, in their minds, think that luxury is the equivalent to uncomfortable and that the materials are going to be too hard. The truth of the matter is that luxurious really should be the most comfortable materials. They really should be the softest materials that you can afford. They're really fine, soft velvets. They can still be performance velvets. Those are really great. They're easy to clean. They're really soft. I really like them, but you really want to avoid anything that would make you feel like you can't sit on it. So maybe instead of having just a brass bar stool or a brass chair, you can have a really soft upholstered cushion on there that really makes it enjoyable to actually sit in the furniture. I think that usability is really important. We don't want to design spaces that you feel like you can't actually use. The point of having a home is that it is a home. It's a place that you come, that you can rest and be restored. And so when you balance that with luxury, the materials themselves, they are important. It needs to be soft underneath you. I think that cotton a lot of times can be very luxurious. I think that the tailoring on those materials is probably the most important thing that you need to consider. So make sure that your materials are definitely soft. They can definitely be things that are performance so that you'll be able to get the long wear out of them. But yes, your materials should be soft and luxurious, and the tailoring of them will really make a huge difference to where you feel like you can look at the space and it has a very luxury look, but when you sit down on it, it feels really, really good and you just really want to stay. I think that's where that cozy really comes in, don't you? The stuffing inside and what you are filling your furniture with is actually really important. I think a lot of times we think of luxurious that it must be stiff, that it's gonna be, really firm. I think you should actually be the exact opposite. I really like to pay a little bit extra. That's part of luxury to me, is that idea that you're gonna be able to pay a little bit extra, get the down filling. It will help all of your cushions that you sit down on just feel, I think, more luxurious, and I think they'll also feel cozier and more approachable. I think it's really important. I really think through those things as I'm ordering for myself and for my clients. I'm looking at what kind of filling is gonna be inside the cushion, whether we're sitting on it, we're leaning against it, whether it's gonna be on the bar stool. I think that's actually where luxury should be. I think a lot of times we have those misconceptions about what luxury is and what it actually is and what it should be at the very least. I think that it really should be something that's really comfortable, that you can really relax on. That's why I really have even enjoyed our West Elm sectional. It's not as tailored maybe as some of the other options that they had, and I chose one that was a little bit more comfy, cozy. I'll be showing you very soon how I'm gonna be styling up that really comfortable, cozy sofa to feel more luxurious. Lots of plans for that. I can't wait to share that video with you. So think through how you want to feel in your space, how you want to be able to lounge, and how comfortable your space can be. And think about think about any filling that you're going to put into your cushions, because it will make a huge difference and it will really up your cozy factor. Next up, I think that you should avoid using anything in your space that will make you feel like you can't relax in it. Some examples. I would love to be able to have a glass top coffee table. I've seen a few that I think are really beautiful. I love smoked glass. I think that that's really beautiful. I also love mirrors. I think that mirrors on coffee tables can be really beautiful, especially if it's got like an antique effect on it. I like pedestals with a piece of artwork on it. But as I think about my own space and how we actually want to use it, I don't want to worry that my son, who's still 12, or maybe if I have a friend that's visiting with a little one, that they might inadvertently hit the glass or the mirror and it might get broken and someone would get hurt. I think about the pedestal with the big art piece sitting on top of it, and I was thinking about putting that into my sunroom, and I was thinking, wow, I want to put that in the corner, and there's the intersection of two humongous windows sitting right there. And if my son is playing and he throws the ball at me, and we don't normally have hard baseballs inside the house, but it could be something softer even. He tosses it to me and I reach out to grab it and that gets bumped. Oh yeah, that's gonna go straight through the window, or it could fall down on somebody. So I really like to think through all of these things when I'm designing a space for myself and for my clients. I think it's really important. I think that the approachability of a space really comes down to choosing things that you feel like you can really live with. That maybe that's not the right spot to put a pedestal and a big marble bust on top, something that would be really heavy. It needs to be somewhere that if you were gonna have that, maybe that your kids wouldn't go there so often. Maybe it's in the master bedroom in a corner somewhere. It's not that you can never include those things in your home if you have kids and pets and you wanna think through all those things, but I do think about the location of those things. If it's gonna be in a family room, I'm probably gonna just avoid it in general. What if somebody puts their feet up on that glass table and I don't know. It's just, these are the kinds of things that I think about. And I think that those are the kinds of things that will really help your space to feel super approachable or make you feel like you can just relax. There's a lot of other options for coffee tables that will work in a space that's gonna be used for high traffic, and maybe save the one that's got the glass for a space that maybe isn't used as often by the entire family. But even then, you might choose to pass on it and go with something that's a little bit different. And I think about fingerprints too. We stayed one place one time. It was a furnished apartment and it had a glass top kitchen table, and I've been looking at them myself because I love the way they look with the little brass legs, and I think that's glamorous and so sophisticated. And then I'm like, yeah, but the fingerprints, oh, the fingerprints. Like, was so many fingerprints on that glass table. I was constantly cleaning it. So I want my house to feel like a space that I don't have to constantly fret over, and I think that these kinds of little details will make a huge impact for you too. I absolutely love to style my luxurious spaces with greenery. I think that adding something organic like greenery, it just adds this beautiful bit of life, and I think that it makes a huge difference. It makes it feel very luxurious and yet very approachable. And I think that that approachability is where coziness comes into. I think so often about the word hygge, which is the Danish word. When they translate it, they say cozy is kind of the word, but what they really are after is this idea of the perfect moment. And when you think about coziness in that way, that perfect moment when you feel at ease and you're really enjoying yourself, and it's just everything just feels so right. I think about that definition of coziness, and to me, having greenery in a space makes that feel like it's full of life, and it makes it feel, I don't know, as if nature has come inside. And I think that it's something that just really revolutionizes a space. So I will typically avoid faux plants, I'll avoid faux flowers. I just don't love them. Every now and then in a bathroom, maybe I'll throw one in here and there, but generally I try not to even put them in. In fact, I think I did a video a little while ago about how you can, some little hacks to be able to use greenery in your home, even if you have, no luck with plants, or if you don't have light. And it's all about being able to maybe find something that can sit in water and eventually root, and it will just kind of grow on its own. There's plenty of ways to do it if you don't want to have a plant to keep up with. But I really think that having greenery in your space will make it just feel really alive. It's so often what we use in rural settings. I think that's where it just comes from. It's like, oh, it's just bringing nature in, bringing something that's natural inside of your home just makes for whatever reason, and we as humans, we just feel more at ease in that. And so when you have a luxurious space and you have really beautiful, clean lines on things, and you have something that feels very high-end, the materials themselves are maybe a little bit glossier, things are a little bit more chic. When you infuse a little bit of greenery into that, that mix is just, it's gorgeous. Definitely try it out. I think that curtains are a beautiful way to really add so much elegance and sophistication to a space, and the materials that you choose can really help them to feel more approachable. But I also think that either way, whether you choose to use a really luxurious linen or you use a really sheer light fabric, or you go for something that's a really heavy velvet, the materials themselves can all be used in different ways, in different spaces to give you a different effect. But hanging them high, going plush on them, really will help your space to also feel cozy. And I really love that. You guys let me know if you love to have curtains too, because I was the one saying take all the curtains down for so long, and then I found that I just missed them. So you guys can let me know what you guys think. Next up, let's not forget to add plush pillows. I like to have pillows that you can really sink down into, that are meant to be used. And maybe that's actually more of the tip. Use pillows you can actually sit on. I remember when my mom first started working with a designer, and the designer told her she wanted to put silk pillows and she wanted to have all these materials that my mom was like, but I have kids, they like to jump in bed with me. And she's like, well, tell the kids they can't do that anymore. And my mom was like, what? No, can we not find a fabric that we could put on the bed where my kids could still run and jump in bed with me and watch movies with me? She's like, that's really important to me as a mom, that I have that feeling for my kids. And the designer told her that she just couldn't help her, that it was either this or nothing. And I think somewhere in my mind that just sort of stayed with me. It was this idea that luxury it's not something that you're meant to live with, but that's silly. Of course you're supposed to live with it. Of course you should have materials that are meant to be used and enjoyed, and something that makes you feel like you're allowed to lean back on the sofa. I think that's where I don't know who started that. Who started that idea? I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy, don't you? I think you should use pillows that you're meant to sit on. I got this one just recently. This one is a custom one that I had done, and I'll leave a link for you guys. They're done through One Kings Lane, and they do a great job, and they're very, very plush inside. They come filled with down, and they're very beautiful, and the material is really soft. It's got velvet, and it's super soft. And yeah, I fully intend to sit with this and lean against it, and I think that's the way that all of our cushions should be. I think if you fill them with down and you're able to fluff them, and you choose materials that feel soft against your skin, these kinds of things are things that you should be living with. And I don't like the idea of filling my bed with pillows that I'm not allowed to touch, or that I feel like I have to take 900 things off and put them somewhere so I can actually sit in my bed. I would personally rather fill the bed with materials that are things that are really soft and that I'm allowed to lean against, and my kids can run and jump in. And you know, we sometimes spaces that would be high traffic, maybe we'll try to use fabrics that are high performance. Again, high performance, I feel like we could just say that over and over. Something that's washable. There's so many new there's so much that's come out with all the technology that we have. There's so many fabrics that you can wash. So I would look for materials that you can wash, ones that you can lean against, one you can really use, and just think about your throw pillows. It's a big part of decor, and make them something that you can really enjoy and yeah, lean against. That way you can actually feel cozy in your space. For so many years now, we've been kind of going against the idea of rugs. And when I see luxurious home, a lot of times they're actually using carpet, which I'm like, I don't know. Oh, are we gonna go back to carpet? Does luxurious mean we have to use carpet? I was thinking about my bathroom when I first moved into this house, and there was carpet in the bathroom. Carpet which my feet never touched, because I promise you, I stood at the sink with my heels on, brushing my teeth at night, because there was no way that my feet were touching carpet in the bathroom. And I was trying to figure out why anybody would put carpet in the bathroom. It's just gross. It's just unsanitary, it's gross. But I was thinking maybe it was because carpet was really thought of as something that's very luxurious. And it can be luxurious. Think about hotels. If they have carpeting in them, they can really use a luxurious material. Technically, I think it could be, but I would prefer to have hardwoods, and I think most of us kind of would as well. So in place of that, I think that we still need, for our spaces, even though we are going for something luxurious and chic, they still need a rug. They need something soft that we put our feet down on. I totally ordered a rug from my bedroom that was gonna be wool, and it was not gonna be soft, and I need to arrange actually to send it back, because I'm like, I don't wanna get out of my bed and to touch something that's rough with my bare feet, and I don't wanna have to have my heels sitting by to get out of bed. So I think that silk rugs can be really beautiful. There's a lot of faux silk and then silk materials that still are really easy to maintain. I think really understanding what rug you're putting in can be really important, and the kind of cleaning that's involved and the maintenance of them, those kinds of things are really important. But either way, you really kind of need a rug in your space to really soften it, to help it to feel like it's the kind of space that you can really get out of bed and it feels really soft and nice, and you know, but just maybe not in the bathroom. I'm not. I'm not gonna be putting carpet or a silk rug in my bathroom. And so I think thinking through where you're gonna put them, layering up your spaces with rugs, all these kinds of things will help give you not only luxury, but also approachability and coziness. Because I don't know about you, you guys let me know. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this one, because I feel like so many of these could potentially be polarizing. It's like the lighting and then the materials and all these kinds of things can be very polarizing. And sometimes if you have a strong feeling about one of those things, it can be hard to see the other side of that opinion. But for me, I think I just like to have my feet to touch something that's really soft if I am actually gonna walk around barefoot. I do think that visually, rugs make a space feel they look more approachable. And I think that using materials that you can actually wash and that you can clean will help it to not only feel approachable and cozy, but something that you feel like you can actually live with as well. I think that you can absolutely have things that are glossy, you can have things that have a great sheen to them, and then you can also have things, like I always show this, that's like every video, I'll just pull this out in every video. This is made of faux bone, and that has texture as well. So you don't necessarily have to think texture, that it has to be something that's rustic. Let me show you this as well. I've got sitting here, look at my books. I've got the book sitting here, and this one is a little bit glossy. It has a little bit more of a sheen to it. And then we've got this one here that's got the linen. So there's materials like linen and bone. And I think shagreen is another one. Shagreen, I've got the cabinet here. That's why I was looking for things that would bring texture into my space while simultaneously keeping that luxurious feel to my space. And I think that that's how you can pull those things in and really give yourself a luxe look that's very cozy. I think those blankets that we talked about in the beginning are really important. Think about your artwork. You can maybe have something that you frame that has some texture in it. It's just got some sort of warmth, and it could have some patina to it, maybe something that's a family heirloom that you decide to frame. Those are ways to bring in texture into your space, but still they don't take away from the luxury feel of your space. They just help it to feel a little bit cozy and approachable. So, well, as usual, my lighting has been crazy in this space, and it has gone in and out 900 times. So I hope that today's video has filled you up with loads of inspiration. I hope that it's inspired you to create a space that is very luxurious. It can be chic, it can be so sophisticated, but it can also be the kind of space that you really just can relax in, that you can feel cozy in. And I hope that these tips and tricks have helped you just to get started as you put together your spaces. So thank you so much for stopping by. We always appreciate when you guys come for a visit, and make sure you hit subscribe. We love that you've come by, and if you haven't hit subscribe yet, we hope you will stick around. Go check out some of our previous videos. We have lots of playlists. We love to make our channel binge worthy for you guys and get you lots of content and lots of ideas. So be sure to check all that out, all the links down below for you, and give the video a thumbs up if you love cozy luxe, and if you want more of it, let us know. So thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.